a day.
What really drives you, man? What really drives you?
I think for me it is, one is poverty. When I think about it, it doesn't matter whether it's 2 a.m. Or Maya. I used to work 18 hours every day. 18 hours every day.
Wow.
If someone tells you hard work doesn't work, then he doesn't understand what they're talking about. I worked 18 hours a day. I had to pay a price for it. I had to make a name for it. Now, when I started growing, I remembered my dreams, my desire. When I went to Fluke, the wedding, and I ate a lot of meat, and I thought about meat. So at one point I have $100,000 on my account, but I'm struggling with food. I'm struggling to eat food. I'm struggling to eat meat. I don't even like it. You know what I'm talking about? I started asking myself, why was this so like this? I started struggling with myself, and I think many people struggle at that stage. That's when they start buying latest cars and putting so many things. It's because that stage everybody goes through it. Like in the mindset, you go through it. But I started discovering that if the purpose to life is beyond what you put on, what car you drive, how many clothes this kind of stuff, which phone you carry.
Material.
And then you start discovering now that my purpose for life today is when I wake up and I know these people are paid on time. There's no single employee of Great Lakes Safaris or Uganda Lodges that can say was paid beyond the 26th of every month. None. Even during COVID. Whoever was paid, to that discipline. So for me, that is the purpose. When I build a place, I look at the young people building the lodge. I look at the people working there, and I see they are able to support their families. That's what brings satisfaction.
How many people have you employed so far?
We're many. Every factories and whatever we're doing, we're many. The impact is even larger. The impact,
It's a lot.
when you run accommodations, the impact
It's a lot.
larger than we all see, because you have suppliers of tomatoes, onions, whatever. We have guys. I remember during COVID, I meet a lawyer, and he tells me, I had never seen how you're valuable to me until COVID happened. I said, so how? So he tells me, I met my aunt in Fort Portal. I realized my auntie was not able to ask for money from him because she supplies us tomatoes. She was surviving on that. But because there was COVID, she could not supply us. So it's COVID that made him realize that without Primate Lodge working, she also can't work. So you don't know this impact. Sometimes it takes situations for you to understand. But it's not just that. We also had so many young people that have left the business, have started their own businesses, they're prospering. It's a good thing. So then at the same time, at any one point, we have young people training, which makes a lot of sense.
What has been the major challenge throughout this whole journey?
Well, I think every season has had its own type of challenge. COVID was such a test. And it was tests on two fronts. One, that
COVID was
3
a
years
test
without,
for
almost 3 years without business
a lot of
was extremely
businesses.
tough. But also, it reminded me of the habits of saving, that without those habits would have probably gone down. But also we used it to train, of course, during that time. But 2020, we had been booked, man. I had counted my eggs. I saw how much we were going to make that time. It taught me a lesson. And even now, by the way, from June, we are really, really looking very good. But I no longer think in that direction, because anything can happen with life. And we're not in charge, sometimes. I think COVID was one of the toughest of lessons.
I read on the internet, people were complaining about the car you drive, people were complaining about the way you dress.
Yeah.
Have you seen those things though?
The haters.
Yeah. But you see, what many people don't understand is that I am breaking a chain of poverty. When you're the one breaking a chain of poverty, your responsibility is different from my child. My responsibility is different from my child. I have to be very careful what I do with what I have. But also the look. As a person, a car is just something that moves me from place A to place B. It's not doesn't mean that I don't like brand new cars. I sit in my friends' brand new cars. And by the way, I've saved 3 times. One day, I sat in a friend's car and I started saying, okay, let me save. I saved, particularly for everything I want, I save. Even I don't go to the company. I can go to the company and get money and buy. But when I want something like that, I save. So I saved, reached $150,000. I went to Toyota, touched a brand new Land Cruiser GX. And I thought to myself, man, I'm a kid from Luakaka, just a village kid. This is not for me, man. I left. 1 week later, I don't know that you know Entebbe, but you don't. So there's a good restaurant in Entebbe called Phase 3. I'm the landlord. But the land next door came up for buying. And I paid $160,000. That's the money I should have. So it was $160,000. That land, the last I was offered was $1.3 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Then I saved up again. Saved. I went to Toyota again. 3 times, man. I went to Toyota the second time, touched the car. It was green, looking so cool, man. Brand new Cabrera Pepper. You know. I walked out again. It was just, I think, the second week. Someone tells me there's 158 acres for buying. 6 to 7 kilometers from Entebbe town. I went and bought. But
So just to clarify, the criticism he receives for how he dresses and what he drives, it's not because it's overtly luxurious. It's because it's very everyday. He just said he doesn't value those things. He went to buy this, Toyota Land Cruiser 3 times and turned it down the first 2 times. And right after that, the opportunity came to buy land with that same amount of money. So this is a different perspective than we see typically. People being criticized for wealth or for being successful. He doesn't show it at all in the way he dresses or even the car he drives from point A to point B. This is very different.
It's not that I don't like it. We all wake up and want to have the latest things. But I don't think I'm defined by what I dress. I'm the type of guy who will put on, yes, sometimes you must see me in a picture with the same pair of shorts from Monday to the weekend. I say, yeah, it's true, I only have one. So that doesn't take up my mind, really. I can enter a place, I know I can pay my bills. I sign a check. And even here, when you come here, no one cares whether I'm here or not, really, at the office. Everyone just calls me by my name. No one calls me boss. It doesn't matter. That's not important.
I've seen you got a lot of tourist vans.
Yeah, Land Cruisers.
Land Cruisers and stuff.
Yeah.
For the tourists.
Yeah.
How many you got so far?
I don't know, I think over 20. But we've got some others in the national parks, yeah.
Would you agree with me that you started your company with a $0?
No.
How much did you start your company with?
I started with knowledge. I had $200 between me and poverty.
So does it mean that do you need more money to set up a company?
No. I think this is where we go wrong. Have you seen people who have inherited lots of money
Yeah.
and become poor in a year? Have you seen politicians? You see politicians here in Africa, even Uganda.
Yeah.
A guy has been earning $50,000 a month, and when he's thrown out of parliament, he becomes poor within 1 year. So that's the mistake as African think, is that we need the cash. I always tell people, if you want to be progressive,
it's not just an African thinking thing or
you want to
Ugandan
succeed
thing. That's around the
continuously.
world.
The first thing you look for in life is a skill. Be good at something, like Wedemaya, for example. You're good at YouTube. You're good at YouTube. You're good at understanding people. You're good at showcasing things. Wedemaya, you are not the same as a politician who has nothing to offer. Wedemaya, everything you have can go away, and you'll start afresh, and you'll still be Wedemaya the next 20 years. So the skill is number 1. Number 2, and very, very important, is networks. So it doesn't matter how skilled you are. If you're not good at making good networks, you're
Very
going to
important.
go nowhere. Number 3, money will come in. Number 4 will be then obvious influence. When you have a skill, you have networks, you have a bit of money, then they interview you. Admire comes and interviews you. That's the bottom line. But then also when you want to create wealth, the second stage is you find something to do. So you've gotten a skill, you've got a networks, and you find something to do. When you find something to do, you will earn. When you earn, as a first stage, save as much as you can. We do that. That's why we've not been indebted as a business. Save as much as you can.
You ever took loan?
No, we don't use loans. The only loan we've done was for the factory we done, and only for trading, not for capital investment. So now we have about 3 million kilograms.
No, we don't do these loans.
That came from a loan, but it's there in value. So we don't really say we have a loan. So we save. Where you went to Simba Safari Camp and went to Elephant Plains. Simba Safari Camp, I saved 10 years to be able to build the next lodge. I think long term. That's very important for us to know. Stage of trying to explain it. So you get an income. When you get an income, the second stage is save as much as you can.
Save.
The third stage is invest as wise as possible. Because you see, with if you had 250,000 shillings, Ugandan shillings, 12 years ago, was equivalent to $100. 15 years ago, it was about $100. Today, that money is less than $70. So you've lost value. So saving is good. Now, you must invest as wise as you can. But for you to invest as wise as you can, depends on who you hang out with. Right? But the fourth thing that defeats many people is lifestyle. So it doesn't matter how skilled you are, how well networked you are, how much you save, how much you invest, for as long as your lifestyle is wrong, money will elude you.
Will you say you are a made in Africa product?
Pure, 100%.
Yeah.
But with lots of context from local people support me, East Africans support me, Caucasians support me. It's because of the context. So I personally don't believe in the notion that there's a man who is self-made. I can't say that. You've come here. How many people are we here? You've seen them working.
Exactly.
Yeah. In all the lodges, people are working. You have garage, people are working. These are the guys that make me. Without them, I'm nothing.
I have so many young Africans that watch my videos.
Yeah, and you've done so well with it.
And if you have an advice.
Not young advisors. Even me, I'm 50, almost 50. But I'm inspired by what you're doing. Yeah.
So then, I have so many Africans that watch my videos.
I think that makes sense, yes.
Both young and old.
Yes.
If you have a message for them
in
terms of how to run a successful business, what would that message be?
The people.
I think running a business is not impossible. It's a lot of people, especially educated people, unfortunately for us Africans, a lot of educated people will see 10 ways in which a business can work and one way in which it can't work. They will nurse that one way in which it can't work and actually stops them from trying out. Now, of course, for people like me who are not very class educated, have an advantage. Me, I cannot be employed by anyone. I don't have a CV to take to anybody. I don't have it. In all this building, I'm the only guy without a university degree, from the receptionist. I'm the only guy without a university degree. Most of them have 2 degrees. That's how it is. So I have to work twice as hard as would admire to just or 3 times for me to try and be at your level. So for me, I have no excuse. And if you're educated, it's an added advantage. You actually can do a lot better than a person that is not as educated in many ways. Because I know for sure that the contacts I've made all over the world, even here locally, I've not exploited even 5%. Why? Because much as I'm fairly eloquent, fairly engaging, I am limited. I have, like you saw, I have no diary. I've never kept a diary in my life. If I didn't have a friend of mine called Simon Kahero, who forced me to get a personal assistant, an African American, actually is my personal assistant. The reason why she is because she understands the mindset of my clients. So you have to surround yourself. You're as good as who you surround yourself with. So because she understands the mindset of my clients, she's been my personal assistant for the last 7 years. Fortunate for her, she's going slightly higher in the company, which means I have to still get another person. But it just improves your life. Yeah, it does that. Yeah.
If you had a chance to change one thing in Africa, what would you change?
I think it's the mindset. Because the resources are there. If you look at Africa, we have between 50 and 60% of the world's arable land. We still import food worth over $40 billion a year. In fact, if you look at countries like Nigeria, if they never imported rice from Thailand, the Thailand economy would struggle. Even us, we're still importing certain things, yet Uganda has 49% of East Africa's arable land. You just imagine this. You've seen here, you will never eat a pineapple anywhere in the world. You can never eat a pineapple as good as Ugandan pineapple anywhere in the world. Mangoes are sweet, everything you eat, the fruits are real nice, they're tasty, they're fresh. But why are we poor? We've got the lakes, we've got the longest river in the world, there's powerful waterfalls in the world, you have got a big portion of the world largest freshwater lake. In the tropics, you've got mountains, rivers, lakes, tropical rainforests.
It's beautiful.
Why are we poor? It's our mindset. It is our mindset. But also traveling is important. If you are an African, travel. Because for me, I have traveled across Europe.
I think it's to say its mindset is to minimalize the fact that it's the knowledge to be able to capitalize on those things and resources. This is a global thing. Here in the U.S., it's the same thing. There are tons of opportunity, but it's almost like the more educated you get, the more jaded you are to the possibility of not working for somebody else and building your own business. Like you said, there are 10 ways a business can work, but you sit there and focus on the one way it can't instead of pursuing the 10 ways it can.
Across Africa, I've gone to Yosemite Sequoia, I've gone to the Grand Canyon, I've done all these things. But when you see these guys exploiting some of the things that you will never take seriously. I went to Australia one time and I'm taken to a tour of eucalyptus tree. You know eucalyptus, find over here.
Facts.
I paid $100 to be taught about eucalyptus. Man, I just shook my head. And there were many of us, buses of us, going to eucalyptus. They're everywhere here. I was shocked. It's just that the fact that I paid $100 and there were thousands of us paying $100 that morning. I came back and I thought, what about the tropical rainforest we've got here? It's just our mindset. We're not exposed to knowledge.
Hello.
I want to say thank you so much for talking to me. Really, I appreciate your time, and your story is really inspirational, and I hope and believe that your story will inspire many Africans out there. Thank you.
Gonna see you in Ghana, man.
Yeah.
Man, this is another great one by Maya, Amos Wekesa. If you like these videos, let me know down in the comments below. I'll continue to make them and bring them to you. The biggest takeaway for me with this one was both his countrymen, Ugandans, some, and foreigners that were trying to pursue the same business venture as he were upset that he was being successful doing it. So it kind of goes to show that no matter what the noise is around you, you have to be able to have tunnel vision on your goal. There are going to be people, patting you on the back and people, trying to pull you back. So just keep progressing forward towards your goals and stay positive. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share this video, support the channel. I'll catch you on the next one.
I'll never ever go Look,